They say there's two sides to every season, non-conference and conference. And while non-conference has been going strong, as the newcomer Monmouth University comes down to Delaware as they look for their first win in NCAA play in their first year in the conference. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on a cold and windy Delaware afternoon. My name is Matt Popelka. You're watching on Flow Sports. 75th anniversary Blue Hens face off to open up their 2023 CAA seasons here on a Saturday in March. Monmouth 4-1 so far this season. The only other team in the CAA to match their 4 wins, 5 wins. And the first team with win number 1 in the CAA column. Monmouth playing on the road for the 4th straight game in the 5th time out of their first 6 as their schedule ramps up soon after this one. Delaware has been at home for the last 5 games before they for some CAA play as we are ready to roll in the face-off as Monmouth almost won it off the draw, and Delaware comes away with it. Roland Hockenberry had it, lost it, and now the Hawks have it. And we'll start on the lineup for the Monmouth Hawks under 10th year head coach Brian Fisher. Monmouth has only had one coach in their history, Brian Fisher. A program that started back in 2013, so we have a couple of anniversary work on offense. Sean Ketchen with it on the far side. Double team passed it off there to Cade Stratton. Lost it on the initial pass. Had an open shot at net, but forgot to take the ball with him. Monmouth retains back out to Luke Cole. Swing it around to the near side now with Connor McCray, the senior. 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Hawks. Spins to the inside with a long stick on him. Does Cole. Cole still with it. 2 seconds and 1. And Monmouth is going to have to eat it. And a shot clock violation to grate the Blue Hens on offense. Owen Grant, the 2-time All-American and 2-time defending CAA Player of the Year, gets it out of his stick and into the stick of Joe Spears, who gets it across. And the Blue Hens go to work. Welcome sign for the Blue Hens. Back in the starting lineup with the stick. Mike Robbins injured in that game against the Mountaineers. Missed the next couple of games. Returned in the last game against UMBC. As that one is fired on and hit the post. Robinson with a turnover back the other way. And the Blue Hens go back to work on offense. So first shot, a ripper off the post for the Blue Hens. Off the stick of J.P. Ward, I believe, around the net to lead all of Division I men's lacrosse. That is his 26th goal of the season. Ty Kurtz doing it all for the Blue Hens on offense. Andrew Coleman, the junior keeper out of Austin, Texas, beaten on the wraparound efforts by Ty Kurtz as he starts off the Blue Hens with their opening goal. Just about 3 minutes into this contest. So Kurtz has really stepped up this year. Quick starts at home for the Blue Hens. After a few close games in a row, 2 straight goals in a matter of seconds as Cam Accioni goes low to low with the shot as they're on top quickly 2-0. Hockenberry again in the face-off. This time it'll be taken by Monmouth University and Matt Sotar. Delayed call here. as Monmouth has possession at the moment. Off the face-off. Metro Atlantic, rookie of the rookie team selection back in 2019. Monmouth, the Metro Atlantic champs in 2021, reached the NCAA tournaments after they were regular season and tournament champs that year. Now transition over to the CAA here in 2023. Stratton is taken, or rather Luke Cole was taken down. And there is the whistle and the flag with the delayed call upcoming. It'll be a man-up opportunity for Monmouth. With a team that is more defensive than offensive. This is a great matchup when the Blue Hens are on offense. A top 15 offensive team in the Blue Hens versus a top 15 defensive team with the Monmouth University Hawks as we take a look back out of Ontario. So Ty Kurtz actually had the initial foul call that was made way back in the beginning of that offensive possession for the Hawks. So he'll sit for 30 seconds and then tack on the 30 seconds for Reed Kurtz in the holding at the end of that offensive attack. And now it's 2 men up for Monmouth. And the Blue Hens have to work with a box 4 here defensively and try and hold on for the next 20 seconds. Monmouth a chance to get into this game and of Ty Caffarelli. 10 seconds left on the double man-up advantage for the Hawks. The 4-man squad of the Blue Hens defense holding strong, long-distance effort saved by Matt Kilcarry. And stop a 2-man-up attack from Monmouth and keep this game at 2-0. And now they go to work, having scored 2 straight goals. Brendan Powers with it way out high with Terrence Lacewell on him. Defensive midi short stick as the Blue Hens go behind the cage with J.P. Ward, the offensive player of the week in the CAA back on February 20th. Ward, a little sneaky shot on the near post. It's 2 straight goals with the Blue Hens coming from behind the cage. J.P. Ward just taking it himself, and look at this little sneaky shot. He fired on the near post. And Ward with his 15th goal of the season for the Blue Hens. And it has been all win for the Hawks and for Matt Sotar, who loses his stick but not possession. And now the Hawks do turn it over. Sutar and Hockenberry, the face-off men today for each side of Jason Kohler. Now the Blue Hens can go back to work on offense. Like I mentioned, Blue Hens top 15 in the nation in scoring this year. Is off. Now with Ward spinning from behind the nets. Just scored from that angle before. Shot that one. Kick save and a beauty from Coleman. Now racing back the other way for the Monmouth Hawks to work defensively. Will shake and bake through a couple defenders, and the shot goes wide from Scooter Whiteside. Scooting between a couple defenders was Whiteside, and he couldn't quite contest. Monmouth has yet to find the back of the net. This is a team that is more defensive than offensive, just 10 goals per game for the Hawks this season. 22-9. Everything else has been within about 5 goals. Cade Stratton, double team, gets out of it. His shot goes high. And the first to it, good effort from Kevin McCormick. He'll win it for the Blue Hens. Blue Hens, as this defense has been strong and on point this game so far. Long pass from Owen Grant. Gets Ty Kurtz moving forward. The Blue Hens thought about moving quick. They're going to slow things up and get it over to the far side in the stick of Ryer Shell, who's seen more and more action this year as time has gone on. Didn't see too much action last year, but Shell shoots and he scores! Ryar Shell with his second goal of the season. He's been a great ground ball man. Feet, a nice cut from behind the net. Again, that's where the offense has been humming for the Blue Hens in this first quarter. They're up 4-0. 3 of those goals have come from behind the nets, and a false start from Roland Hockenberry as he quickly exits. So the Hawks have another crack at it offensively. Sophomore out of Mount Laurel, New Jersey, too far high. He was a All-Metro Atlantic rookie team selection last year. One of 3 selections for the Hawks in that 2022 season. On the rookie team, that is. From behind the cage they come. As Sean Ketchen hit the deck, it was scooped up by the Blue Hens, and Kilcarry will take it from there. And will now make way as the offense goes back to work. On the road. And lost a tough one to Villanova as that one is popped up in front of the net and taken by the Hawks. 13-12 to Villanova here at home. As the Hawks with a long stick coming forward, and Miles Emiston as the Hawks get their offensive unit onto the field. So after that loss to Monmouth, they had another big game, did the Blue Hens, against Michigan, also at home. The game they outscored the Wolverines 7-1 in the second quarter. Thought they had a scoreless, gave them all the momentum. They outscored the Blue Hens 9-3 in the second half and won that game 16-12. After the Blue Hens thought they had themselves a win over a program on the rise in Michigan. So 2 straight losses for the Blue Hens before they turned it around in a midweek contest against UMBC. Out near midfield, a push against the Blue Hens as Luke Cole hit the deck for Monmouth. Delaware thought they were pushing on the offensive attack. Instead, Monmouth gets another crack at it. Stick of Reed Kurtz doing a nice job. Double team coming, and they free the ball. Kilcarry takes over, and here come the Blue Hens. Under 3.5 to play, first quarter, coming all the way forward. Harrison Ewing, he hits the deck hard. Flags fly, play still going. So a delayed call coming against Monmouth, a delayed call in their favor, and could potentially put a 5th goal on the board in this first quarter. Right now, the freshman Brendan Powers with it. Around the net he goes. Had a cutting shell on the back post. And almost had a trick of the eye there. It looked like he found the back of the net somehow, but side netting, no goal. And now the penalty is enforced as Andrew Coleman picked up the ground ball. So a 30-second man-up opportunity for the Blue Hens. This is another spot where Monmouth has done a great job defensively, allowing just 3 goals in 21 opportunities and 8% goals on these opportunities. Inside with a pass. That's a rip and a goal. And it's Clay Miller who finds the back of the net. It's 5-0 Delaware. Miller working the inside of that zone from Monmouth, was able to just catch and fire. A lot of space for him to turn with it. As Monmouth was unable to check it. First quarter are up 5-0, and they have controlled a lot of this game. Another win in the face-off circle from Matt Soder. Coming into today, he was at 52% winning. And he's won a good portion of them today. Tough sledding for this Monmouth University offense. Like I said, averages just 10 goals per game. Has actually won a couple of games where they haven't even reached the 10-goal threshold. They like to keep things close and down and dirty, but they haven't been. Now, found the back of the net. Johnny McLean breaks the scoreless drought for the Hawks. With 1:22 left in the quarter, Monmouth finally is on the board. Kilcarry desperately swinging at it in the ends. He couldn't quite keep it out of his net as it bounced well in front of that goalie crease. Perhaps there was a defender in his way, shielding him from seeing that the entire way through at face-off. And now the Blue Hens can go back to work on offense. The yellow jersey alternatives for the Blue Hens today. Monmouth with their dark blue away uniforms, as the Blue Hens will hold for the final shot with under a minute to play in the first quarter. Under 30 seconds now for the Blue Hens. Now with Kohler, a short stick defender, and Scooter Whiteside on him. Kohler around him from Nick Jessen. 5 seconds now. Jessen turning, looking inside. Pass behind. Up top, one more effort. Saved in front from Coleman. And that's how the quarter will end. The Blue Hens 5 on the board before Monmouth finally scores with 1:22 left in the quarter, and that's where we 5-1 Delaware on top as we are just about ready to begin the second quarter of action between Delaware and Monmouth University. Got things started with a diving Ty Kurtz goal to open up the scoring 2.5 minutes into the game. That now extends his scoring streak to 53 straight games, as Roland Hockenberry with Kurtz's 26th goal of the year, leading all of the NCAA. J.P. Ward followed that up with a 5-hole goal around the net as they beat Andrew Cole as well, as the Blue Hens really worked things well offensively. And now they're looking for more to begin this second quarter. Ty Kurtz with it at the moment. Watched on by a short stick defender. Behind, Jessen sandwiched. Kept possession, though, with the Blue Hens. Delayed called coming against Monmouth. And J.P. Ward holds it right now for the Blue Hens, who again have an opportunity to score and go up on a man advance. Only put 2 of those on frame. Blue Hens have put 8 on frame as that one goes wide. And now the penalty will be enforced. Three saves already from Coleman, as the two teams were dead even 4-4 in top 10 in the nation. And turnovers this season has turned it over 5 times. As we take a look back at the crunching hits, as Jessen got sandwiched, it'll be a minute as they look to get this Monmouth zone defense moving side to side, shuffling players in and out, try and confuse them. Miller standing inside, back post they go, Kurtz again, and a great finish. Actually, check that. That was J.P. Ward on the back post. As the Blue Hens really circled it around. Great feed that went below the cage line. And J.P. Ward finished off as he was found open in the back post, and the Blue Hens still with the man advantage for the next 20 seconds. Will hold it as there are 17 seconds left on the minute penalty against Ryan Morris. So the Blue Hens up 6-1. Potentially have the next faceoff as a man up right now in this series. Delaware has won all 5 of the previous matchups, including last year's drubbing 17-6. And we're well on our way to another similar scoreline right now, 6-1 Blue Hens on top. And the first CAA matchup of the season, as we have an early season up there, Colonial Athletic play. Monmouth predicted 7th in the preseason poll. Delaware, the Blue Hens, a unanimous first team selection. Monmouth with just 1 selection to the preseason All-CAA squad. That's defender Michael Quigg, who's an honorable mention. He already has a CAA Defensive Player of the Week nominee to his name. So now here with a man-up opportunity. We'll see what the move is here. Potentially just hold it until they get a right shot as they work it around to the far side. Again, J.P. Ward sitting on that back post. Now they're really moving things. Penalty time over. That shot is going to trickle as the Hawks do not allow a second goal on the man-up opportunity. Robinson spins out of the double team coming. Now with Kurtz. And now Ward coming from below the cage line. That's a big-on-big screen. 2 long sticks. A bouncer in front. And the scoring continues as Clay Miller finds the back CAA game of the season for both sides. Coming from below the cage line with a cutter coming from up top. Hard to defend if you are ball watching. And Miller is able to, with his second of the game, hasn't really been hearing the whistle too well this afternoon, but hasn't really had to worry about much because the Delaware defense has really held strong. And this Monmouth offense has really been anemic to begin this game. Top 8 in Monmouth history with 41 goals, 33 assists, and 74 points coming into this 2023 season. Tack on another 10 goals. He's over 50 in his career. That pass, now he passes off to Luke Cole. And now with Sean Ketchen. Ketchen, a short stick defender on him, and Jason Sider, he passes now to Cole. Cole with his screen, gets a short stick on him, likes the matchup. Cole going to work, spinning inside. Still Luke Cole firing, and Kilcarry with a nice save and a ground ball. But a great job from Tate Wasson to force a long-distance effort that Matt Kilcarry saw the entire way. And another easy save for Kilcarry. He's got 2 of them today. Ten minutes to go before halftime. Blue Hens on top, 7-1. Goal today already. We'll pass it off. Long stick of Michael Quigg defending at the moment. Jessen going to work for the offense, and his shot is a bit too wide. And Ward will track down and hold possession for the Blue Hens in the near side corner. Has another long stick come to him, and now a short stick with a pass inside. Oh, how did Jessen get that shot off and find the back of the net in one motion? Blue Hens on top 8-1 and have dominated this first half. Should stay on him defensively. Great pass across the face of the net to Nick Jessen. Somehow was able to bypass a couple of hits and get a shot off in time and put it on frame. A great effort from Suter as he was able to win the faceoff in this Monmouth Hawks offense. Stratton hits the post as he had Kilcarry beat, but he could not find the netting. And we still sit 8-1. Johnny McLean coming off the bench for the senior out of Windham, New Hampshire. Stratton just hit the post with his last effort, broke his stick, and lost possession. Back in time. The Hawks faithful making their way down from Jersey approve of the offense. The broken stick on the field for McLean was good enough as the senior out of New Hampshire finished it off. Win for the Blue Hens and Jason Sider off the face-off. Second goal of the season for McLean. And they have to figure out this Blue Hens offense and haven't been able to do so. Inside with the pass to the back post for Kurtz. His pass. Now a change in personnel and Monmouth pushing forward. Right now with Ryan Morris and a long stick. He started every game. Owen Grant on the move through the midfields. Owen Grant, the All-American, will pass it off to J.P. Ward. Grant looking for it back. He's got it. Grant shooting, and Owen Grant with his first goal. Grant had been looking, searching for this first goal. He brought it across and decided, yeah, I'll take a rip. Great feed from J.P. Ward as Owen Grant finds the back of the net for the first time in 2023. He's been banged up and nicked up this year. And that's got to feel for Suter. It was a two-time Metro Atlantic second team selection back-to-back years, 2021 and 2022. Set the Monmouth record with 79 ground balls last year. After he won 52%. And he has been on his game so far today. He's won 7 of the 13. But the offense hasn't been clicking for Monmouth today. Right now, Matt Carsey didn't find a way through. Shielded there by Jason Sider. And now there was a delayed whistle, I believe. Delayed call coming against the Blue Hens in this first half. So Mike Robinson, back from injury, getting his first start since February 15th, takes the penalty. He'll sit for a minute. Now Monmouth an opportunity with a man up. See if they can get a quality shot on frame. Try and get back in this one. They're 0 for 1 so far today, and the man up opportunities are the Hawks on the season. With this save, he'll loft it up ahead to midfield. It's taken and brought forward by Aiden Fritz. And one shot and done from Monmouth on the man-up opportunity. Another great defensive effort as Kilcarry saw the shot coming the entire way. And an easy save for the sixth-year man out of Lake Sherwood, California. Robinson has 2 seconds left. Kurtz over to Robinson, fresh out the penalty box. He'll spin out of a double team and pass it over to Brendan Powers. Rather, check that. Finn Morgan into the action. The freshman passing to the back post, shooting and scoring is Ward. And the Blue Hens have double digits in the first half. Finn Morgan had been filling in for the injured Mike Robinson as he worked himself a bounce pass over to J.P. Ward, sitting on the back post, and easy pickings for the junior out of Maryland, and a timeout's coming as Monmouth has yet to stop this Blue Hens offense. 10 goals for Delaware, and we still have 4.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Monmouth getting a welcome to the Colonial Athletic Association. The preseason favorites and defending champs Delaware really putting it to the Hawks, who are coming off a 5-7 season back in 2022. They went 2-4 in Metro Athletic play, coming off the 2021 season, where they won the Metro Atlantic regular season and tournaments. As the weather for today, a little glooming. Overhead, gray skies, though there is some blue over on the baseball field side of things. On the left-hand side of your screen, out past the football stadium. Game high of 43 degrees, but it feels like 32 because that wind has really been gusting. 30-mile-per-hour gusts. And it's probably been sustaining around 15 or 20 miles per hour. So a windy afternoon here in March for the Blue Hens men's lacrosse team that really has had a lot of games like this early on in this season. The only game where it felt like the Blue Hens had really nice weather was the opener here at home against St. John's back on February 18th. It felt like it was in the mid-50s that day. But here we are, nearly a month removed from that, and it's colder, it's windier, and it's cloudier. But nothing raining on the Blue Hens parade today, 10-2. On top are the Blue Hens. The only category they really haven't dominated has been the face-off circle. Monmouth now has won 8 of the 14. But they haven't been able to take advantage. That was tipped off the stick of Joe Spears. And indeed, the referees caught that in the end. A slight touch from Spears, the junior long stick out of Illinois. We got 15 ground balls coming into today. It's been a nice addition to this defense. As Stratton goes to work on the near side. A couple defenders bothered the shot in the end, as Grant really passed that to nobody in particular. Now Monmouth with a breakaway. That one's off the crossbar, and denied was Ty Caffarelli. And it has been that kind of afternoon for the Hawks. They get a turnover in their favor. They get a 2-man fast break, a 2-on-1. A shot coming from Caffarelli, the freshman out of Newport Beach, California. And he just hit the post. Accioni with a goal to his name today. Passed it off, and now the Blue Hens circle it all the way to Nick Jesson. Jesson, the long stick on him. Passes it into the near side corner. Monmouth getting a bit more aggressive with their defense. Screen coming. Doesn't do much. Accioni with a little underhand flip of a shot. Goes too high. It'll stay with the Blue Hens' possession. Off the restart, J.P. Ward with the long stick on him. Gets a screen. Now to Robinson. Takes a check, turns and looks. Sees a short stick. Goes to work. Pass to the back post. Jumping and scoring. It's Jason Kohler. Everybody is in on the action on the offensive end of things. As the Blue Hens find the back of the net for the 11th time. Robinson did the dirty work. Kohler finished it off. And the Blue Hens have really found the offense today. 11 goals in this first half. As they are really pouring it on Monmouth. Welcoming the newcomers to the CAA with an offensive blitz. Hockenberry loses out again in the faceoff. Matt Suter has done a nice job for Monmouth today. Stratton forced to go backwards. So we approach 2 minutes to play in this first half. 2 goals for Monmouth, both from Johnny McLean. Hawks have put 7 shots on frame out of their 14 total shots. Kilcarry with 5 saves. And an astounding 71% save percentage in this first half so far. Trying to spin out of his defender, Sean Kitchen. His shot is wide. Holding possession is Connor McCrae. Monmouth with a goal in each quarter so far. Kitchen, near side, going to work. That pass was a bit behind the intended target. Scooped up on the move by Kevin McCormick. Now the Blue Hens with 2 long sticks in on the attack. McCormick will make way. Still Owen Grant waiting for action, and the All-American will make way as the Blue Hens have 1 minute to work with and can go up double digits in the first half. Brendan Powers, the freshman who's played in every game for the Blue Hens in 2023 with possession at the moment. Terrence Lacewell has had 6 ground balls in his last 2 games coming into today, eyeing the freshman right now defensively. 30 seconds left. Powers really draining the first half clock. 20 seconds now. Faked a step forward, and now he's going to go to work. Powers gets a screen. Nothing inside. From behind the cage line was Ward. He lost it. Couldn't quite secure the pass. And the Hawks unable to take advantage of the mistake from the Blue Hens. And that's really been the only mistake on the offensive end from Delaware. 11 goals for the Blue Hens. 3 of them from J.P. Ward. And we head to halftime. Delaware on top, 11-2 over Monmouth. You're watching Delaware Men's Lacrosse on Flow Sports. 11-2, the halftime score. Delaware dominating Monmouth in the opening CAA game of the 2023 season for both sides, and dominating puts it lightly. As we take a look at these halftime stats, Delaware out shooting the Hawks 20-15, have put 14 on frame, have put 11 in the back of the nets. Kilcarry has had 5 saves so far for the Blue Hens. who are now led by J.P. Ward's 3 goals and 2 assists, as he has been the second running mate to Ty Kurtz this season with Mike Robinson hurt for much of this 2023 non-conference schedule. Robinson with a couple of assists in his first start since the Mount St. Mary's game back on February 15th for the Hawks. The one area where they have the advantage has been in this face-off circle, where Matt Suter has won 9 of the 15 face-offs as he and Roland Hockenberry go back to work. And it will be a violation against Suter. And so the Blue Hens go to work offensively. 3 goals from J.P. Ward, 2 from Clay Miller, and then goals from Kurtz, Kohler, Owen Grants, Nick Jessen, and Ryar Shell. So Miller gets things started with the first attack for the Blue Hens in this second half. Long distance effort. How did he beat the keeper? Oh my goodness. Everything going Delaware's way. And they crack open this second half with a banger of a goal. Jason Kohler. He is a good 12, 13 yards out, just turns and lets it rip. Coleman shielded perhaps by a couple defenders. Did not catch it until it was in the back of his net. Suter with a win for the Hawks. Almost gave it up, and he did. McCormick, or rather check that, Kevin Lynch, forced a turnover, scooped up the ground ball, and won it back for the Blue Hens. Across into this long stick of Joe Spears, as the Blue Hens go back to work on the offensive attack. 12-2, they're on top, and they might just be taking out their frustrations after a couple of close losses to Villanova and Michigan. Bounce back pass to the recent goal scorer, Kohler. Now over to Jessen on the near side. Jessen spins to the inside, has a long stick on him, and passes out of it. Kurtz with 3 points today, extending his point streak and his nation-leading 25th goal of the season. Passed in front, Accioni had it blocked before it could find the back of the nets. Couldn't quite tell if Coleman had a leg save or if it hit off the post. Either way, Monmouth gets a stop defensively. And the long stick of Michael Quigg thought he brought it over, turned it over instead. Grant with a pass to Kohler. And Kohler now starting in his 5th straight game for the Blue Hens. Had a goal and an assist against UMBC. Already more goals in this first non-conference schedule of this season than he did in all of 2022. That one snuck through. Delayed reaction from the Blue Hens bench as Brendan Powers powered a shot past the keeper. And nobody quite knew if it had gone in or not until the referee gave the signal. And there's Powers, a lot of open space for him, as he was a welcome addition to this squad, the freshman out of New York. Had a goal in 4 of the first 6 games. And now he finds the back of the nets for the first time today. That one was blocked in front. And the Blue Hens thought they were the first to it. Looked like Lynch was the last and the closest to the byline. And it'll stay with the Hawks instead, trailing 13-2. As their offense hasn't been on point, just 7 shots on frame, 5 saves from Kilcarry. And an opportunity for this Blue Hens defense to showcase what they have. And that fact that you can make a case that the Blue Hens are a more well-rounded team than perhaps their stats initially show. That shot is blocked in front. Kilcarry, I believe, saved it with his face mask as Owen Grant brings it across. So Kilcarry has done a nice job in net today. He's now up to 6 saves. Early on into this third quarter, Delaware on top, 13-2. Powers has just scored a goal, has it right now. The long stick of Owen Grant makes way for Ryar Shell. Shell with a goal so far, his second of the season. We'll start things off from below the cage line. Shell with a lot of speed, lost his defender initially, now gives it up to Ward. Ward off a screen. The long stick spins to the inside, double team comes, pass coming. Miller with the shot saved in front by Coleman. Coleman with his 4th save. And an offsides against the Hawks, and the Blue Hens have a breakaway coming. Kurtz on the move. And the home crowd not liking the referees calling things back. Looked like the Blue Hens had a clean breakaway off of the turnover. And I believe the referees were just checking with each other to make sure that, yes, indeed, it wasn't offsides. It was the long stick of Miles Emiston, who kind of gave a little shake and stutter step right at the halfway line. And the two referees coming together were just making sure that when he did that, that he perhaps went across and back. Either way, turnover from the Hawks and an opportunity now for the Blue Hens. Accione, a lot of speed, passed it off now to Ward. Ryan Morris defending the long stick, forcing J.P. Ward to go backwards. Morris, two-time captain, long-distance shot on the near post by Mike Robinson. Did not find the nets. Ward again, high step in his way from behind the cage. Passed it off. Kurtz flipped it over to the far side. Jessen had his shot saved. So Coleman with a nice save in front of the nets. As he now has back-to-back saves. He does, though, make a poor pass. Couldn't be handled by Johnny McLean. And it'll be turned over. So the Blue Hens force another turnover, as the Hawks have been really sloppy with the possession today. That is their 11th turnover of the afternoon. Robinson weaving in and out of defenders, has a short stick on him at the moment. Sidewinding effort goes wide, as he saw the long stick double team coming his way. And before we get things rolling again, it'll be a timeout from Monmouth. currently trailing 13-2. Had a goal in each of the first 2 quarters, but has not found the back of the net here in the third. Being outshot currently 26-17. As the Blue Hens have dominated almost every asset of this game today. Monmouth has won 11 of the 18 faceoffs, but it hasn't really mattered because they've turned it over 11 times. Eight and a half minutes left in this third quarter. Blue Hens on top 13-2. Don't forget, fans, softball is back. Blue Hens at home this Wednesday as they take on St. Joseph's. 3 o'clock at the Delaware Softball Diamond. That is March 15th, 3 p.m. Come out and support the Delaware softball team. Had a great season last year, made it all the way to the CAA championships, but fell to UNC Wilmington. As they have ramped things back up. Softball is happening. Baseball right now in the middle of a doubleheader as they open up their CAA conference schedule this weekend as well. So spring sports abounds here for the University of Delaware. The men's lacrosse team looking for win number 5 and are well on their way, up 11 just about midway through this third quarter. JP Ward, 5 points on 3 goals and 2 assists so far today. He's also got a couple of ground balls to his name. Robinson, in his first start since February 15th, has a couple of assists. Here is Ward with a pass in front. Robinson faked a shot, didn't have the angle. His pass was then intercepted, and now Monmouth racing back the other way. McRae to the far side, now Stratton. Double team, triple team, lost it. Lost a helmet. And time has to be called with a player losing their protective headgear. It'll be turned over by Monmouth. And the Blue Hens with another forced turnover, as the Hawks have been stymied by this Blue Hens defense. Monmouth thought he had stepped out. Instead, play continues. Powers! Past Coleman, his second. And Monmouth can do nothing but complain from the sideline, as Brendan Powers got a lot of space, faked one side shots through the stick of Coleman. And Brendan Powers, one of 2 freshmen that have really been stepping up this season offensively. Finn Morgan, the other one, as a new face-off man for the Blue Hens, wins. As O.J. Morris was in the face-off circle for the first time. Mike Robinson trying to win. Lost his stick. It looks like it's broken on the turf at the moment. Indeed, it is. So a broken stick for Mike Robinson, as he'll make way. And I believe the aforementioned Finn Morgan has stepped in his spot for the moment. So the freshmen Finn Morgan and Brendan Powers really stepped up with Robinson out for a period of 3.5 games. Here is Powers, who just scored the last goal. I believe he's actually scored the last 2 goals for the Blue Hens, as he looks to join JP Ward with hat tricks today. Passed inside. Tough play to be made by Finn Morgan. Blue Hens retain possession, though. Powers to the near side. Kurtz to Ward. Nobody cutting. Ward's going to take it himself. That one was just high. So a quick change as the Blue Hens run out of time in the shot clock, and the Hawks get a shot clock violation defensively. First one this afternoon, as the Blue Hens were unable to put anything on frame that go-arounds. They still are on top 14-2. Blue Hens 4-1 this season when they lead at halftime. The only game they lost was Michigan here at home after being outscored 9-3 in the second half. Monmouth on the season, playing in their 4th straight road game, as they're looking for their 5th straight win. They lost the opener on the road at Princeton 22-9, but then rattled off wins against NJIT, LIU, Wagner, and Mount St. Mary's, the last 3 on the road. As that one is fired past Kilcarry, as Burke Webb has his 4th goal of the season, and the senior out of Maryland scores the 3rd goal for Monmouth with 5:17 left in this 3rd quarter. So goal back for Monmouth, like I mentioned, coming off 4 straight victories. The last one coming in overtime against Mount St. Mary's. After going up 5-2, Mount St. Mary's came back with 6 straight goals. That was a game Burke Webb scored a hat trick as he just found the back of the net. So 4 goals in 2 games for Webb. And in the end, it was Matt Karzian's overtime goal that puts Monmouth in the win column and gave them a little momentum coming into their first CAA game, but it has been all Delaware today. Owen Grant forces the turnover. Oh, he picked the pocket of Ryan O'Rourke. And now here's Grant on the move. A goal to his name today so far. Still Owen Grant. Now he shovels it off to Mike Robinson. Grant was looking for his 2nd goal of the afternoon, and now he'll make way. Shell, short stick on him. Rather check that it's Cam Accioni as he gives it over to Ward. Ward gets a screen. Couldn't do anything with it, though. Long stick of Ryan Morris on him. Accioni off the post and in as he scores. And Cam Accioni with his 2nd goal of the game puts the Blue Hens on top 15-3 as he and Ward play a little 1-2. And he hit the back post and found a way to beat Andrew Coleman. Coleman, actually one of the best goalies, not only in the CAA, but in the nation. He was top 15 in the nation, a 9.57 goals against average coming into today. He had 12 saves in each of the last 2 games, but has run into a firing squad of an offense of the Blue Hens today. 15 goals. And he's made 5 saves. Monmouth back the other way will take a goal in their favor. So quick turn of an action as Caparelli scores. Cafarelli coming into today had 11 goals, leading all CAA freshmen. And that was a false start from O.J. Morris, getting some action in the face-off circle in this second half. And it has been a lot of Roland Hockenberry in the face-off circle, but the Blue Hens on top, 15-4. They're able to get some other players some action. Hockenberry hasn't had the best efforts today, but it's an opportunity for him to get some rest and some relaxation as O.J. Morris has taken over the face-off circle. Monmouth now back to work on the offense. We see Caden Kesselring for the first time this afternoon for the Hawks. He scored in his collegiate debut against Princeton. As the Blue Hens will clear it and get it over to Mike Robinson. Robinson, a preseason All-American, injured in the Mount St. Mary's game, missed then 3 straights for coming back off the bench against UMBC in the weeknight affair against the Retrievers. Here is Robinson. Still getting his legs back under him. His first start since February 15th. That shot is saved in front by Coleman, as he is still at net and still making saves. Ward, his shot goes wide, and a great effort from the long stick Miles Emiston to win it for Monmouth. Here's Emiston, freshman out of Davidson, North Carolina. Has started every game so far in his first year with the Hawks. That long distance pass into the stick of Scooter Whiteside, as Monmouth will clear. They're now 6 of 11 in clears this afternoon. Under a minute to play, third quarter. Andrew does Waltz have it. He passes behind the cage. Both sides getting some fresh faces out on the field. Cade Stratton started the game, passed out of a double team. That long distance effort saved in front. Kilcarry up in the air and taken by Jason Sider. Now the Blue Hens on the move. Aiden Fritz, a man trailing him, passed it over to Robinson to the far side. Kurtz off the top and too high with 20 seconds left in the quarter. Ward working against the long stick. Still Ward, body bumping with 10 seconds. Ward's shot too far wide. Robinson hit it off the long stick defender, and Emiston, as he fired it towards the cage in the last second effort, nothing doing. And that's how the quarter will end. 15-4. Blue Hens on top, looking to close it out. Fourth quarter action coming up. You're watching Flow Sports. 15-4. The score as we head to the fourth and final quarter of this CAA opening matchup between Delaware and Monmouth. Blue Hens have really dominated this effort as O.J. Morris wins another face-off. Sophomore out of Dublin, Ohio, playing in his first action here, rather his fourth game of the year here in 2023. Actually, a transfer from Seton Hall in 2022. Saw action with the Pirates. Does have a goal to his name today. And not today, a goal to his name this season, I should say. As that shot was saved in front. Dropped out of the stick of Scooter Whiteside. As the Blue Hens will clear it back the other way. Blue Hens still have their number ones out there on offense. Haven't really had too many games where they've had all of their full arsenal. That's a nice move from Kohler to free himself, but couldn't get the shot off. Really, they had the game against Lafayette and had about half the game against Mount St. Mary's with the full arsenal of attackers before Mike Robinson went out. And then when he returned against UMBC, that one is an easy one in front from Ty Kurtz as he just lazy walked his way to the front of the nets and found a shot to beat Andrew Coleman. As Kurtz just kind of lazy walked himself from behind the nets, took on a short stick, and just went up high. As Coleman, with a point-blank shot, couldn't do much about it. Scooped up on the backside by Reed Kurtz, but a push from the Blue Hens will give the possession to Terrence Lacewell and the Monmouth Hawks. Blue Hens defense now with a couple of changes. Matt Montgomery into the game for the Blue Hens. Defensively as a long stick, he replaces Owen Grant. As that ball is dropped, little scrum of possession, and taking that off the ground ball. Looks like it's Reed Kurtz for the Blue Hens. Clearing it is the long stick of Kevin McCormick, and now the Blue Hens are back to work on offense. 17 goals is the season high for the Blue Hens. That was in their last game, the weeknight affair against UMBC. They took down the Retrievers 17-11. Powers, a couple of goals today. Looking for options and finds his running mate Shell. Inside for Kurtz, off the post. Ty Kurtz looking for a hat trick today. It's denied by the woodwork. Now Monmouth trying to go quickly. Connor McCrae with it right now. The senior starting his 6th game of the year. Led Monmouth last year with 27 points on 22 goals. And 25 ground balls as well. Leads Monmouth coming into today with 12 goals. As Sean Ketchen goes to work on a short stick. Defender lost his footing, but it's intercepted by Matt Montgomery. And he turns it right back. So Montgomery seeing action, intercepted the pass, but turned it right back over. Fifth game played for Montgomery this season. Did have a ground ball in the last matchup against UMBC. Stratton trying to lose a defender. He does so, shoots, and scores. Cade Stratton moving up the Monmouth record books. Over 50 goals in his career, adds to the tally with that effort as he brings Monmouth within 11. And a long stick on him, just patiently moving back and forth. Spun back one more time. And perhaps the defender in front shielded Kilcarry from seeing that shot the entire way. So goal for Monmouth. And a fortunate bounce for the Blue Hens off of the chest of the referee standing there watching the face-off. It bounded right to O.J. Morris. That's how you win a face-off, a little assist from the referee. Kohler with it. Now passes back to Jessen. Avoids a long stick. Double team coming. Still with Jessen. Passes off now to Kurtz. As he looks to make his way towards the front of the nets. And backs out. Kohler with it. Now Jessen passes below the cage line. Ward shoots, and it's just wide on a tough angle for the junior. Accioni will hold it for the Blue Hens. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Great save in front from Coleman. As Accioni passed over to Jason Kohler. Kohler, one motion shot very low, skimmed it right on the top of the turf. But Coleman was able to get down in time. And now Stratton goes to work behind the back with his shot. Looked like a no-looker. And keeping that in play is Ty Caffarelli. Monmouth predicted to finish 7th in the CAA. The preseason poll, Blue Hens, the defending champs, unanimously selected first. Nice spin to free himself, and a tough angle goal. The defense for the Blue Hens lost him in the end. And a great shot to beat Kilcarry on the near side post. Just a great effort to lose the short stick defender. And Kilcarry looked like he got too skinny on that post side. And he was beaten. Another win for O.J. Morris in the faceoff, as he has been hearing the whistle well since he came in the second half. Under 8 minutes to play, Delaware on top 16-6. One goal off, tying their season high. Kurtz's pass to Shell on the back post. His shot goes wide. And Emiston for the Hawks will win it as it goes out of play. He was the closest to it. And the Blue Hens miss out on another opportunity to extend their lead. Coleman's pass gets it across. Now with Ryan O'Rourke. O'Rourke now gives it up. Webb, who's got a goal today, coming off a hat trick effort in the last game against Mount St. Mary's in his second career start. Stratton now over to Webb. Senior trying to back his way towards the front of the nets. Stratton gets a screen from Webb. Stratton turns and fires. It'll stay with the Hawks, though. They have 14 seconds left on the shot clock. McLean with 2 goals today passes it off. Webb shoots, saved in front, Kilcarry. Kilcarry flips it back to Montgomery, and now the long sticks trying to work it up ahead of the field. Kilcarry one-handed snag and needed to. Long distance pass secured by Ty Kurtz. Long runway for Kohler. Pass it off to Kurtz, and he let her rip too high. Blue Hens offense hasn't been as crisp in this fourth quarter, but hasn't needed to. On top by 10. They did all their damage in the first 3 quarters. As Kohler comes inside, his pass too high for Accioni. It's turned over. Scooter Whiteside through the middle of the field. Options left and right, gets it over to Stratton. Shot fake, now pass to the far side. That effort is too high from Connor McCray. It'll stay with Monmouth, though, as we approach 5 minutes left in this contest. Caden Kesselring with it for Monmouth. As he's seen his second game of his collegiate career, scored in his only action against Princeton to open up this 2023 season. Kesselring still trying to get past his defender. Reed Kurtz did a nice job defending. Stratton. A little underhand flip of a shot goes wide. It'll stay with the Monmouth Hawks with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Kesselring. Looking. Shooting. Off the post. No good. And scooped up by the long stick of Tate Wasson. Wasson will clear. Announced to Ward below the cage on the opposite side of the field. Last 2 games for the Blue Hens have really showed what their offense is capable of. After a couple of tough opponents and a couple of tough losses where the offense shined a little bit, but didn't really shine throughout the entire game. Ward. Passed inside, 5-hole with the goal. It's Matt Accioni. As the Blue Hens tie their season high with the 17 goals this afternoon. As Matt Accioni has now scored points in each of the last 3 games. As he now joins his brother and a host of Hens who have scored this afternoon. Another win for O.J. Morris and the Blue Hens in the face-off. We do have a change in nets for the Blue Hens. Aiden Koff
sophomore out of New York, now in the net for the Blue Hens. Kilcary's day is done, allowed just 6 goals on 15 shots. A .600 save percentage and 56.5 minutes of action. Jake DeMar now onto the field as the Blue Hens 2s come out on the offensive attack. Matt Accioni passes it off. Finn Morgan shoots. Finn Morgan scores. And there's number 18 on the board for the Blue Hens as they now have a new season high to shoot for in the upcoming games, as their offense has really showed out in this opening CAA contest. Morgan from behind the nets powered his way through, and Andrew Coleman was unable to make the save. 9th goal of the season for Finn Morgan. Who had started the last 4 games in place of Mike Robinson, but with Robinson back in the lineup. Morgan, freshman, makes his way for the All-American. As we approach 2 minutes to play in this contest, we'll take a look ahead for Monmouth. They'll be at home for just the 2nd game in this 2023 season as they take on Villanova and Stony Brook. Back-to-back weekends and back-to-back games at homes. That is part of a 4-game home stretch for the Hawks, as Nova represents their last potential non-conference game. That one is off the post and away as the Blue Hens look to clear back the other way. They also have St. Joseph's as a potential non-conference game. That is a weekday game on April 4th. So Nova and St. Joseph's, the last 2 non-conference games for Monmouth, as they will drop to 0-1 in conference play, as the Blue Hens will win the opener here today on top 18-6 with a minute to play. The Blue Hens on the other side of things are on the road for a non-conference game at Johns Hopkins. That is next Sunday, the 19th, 7 p.m. in Baltimore, as the Blue Hens will go on the road for that affair. Their next conference game, I should say, will be on the 25th at Hofstra, as that pass is too high and turned over. So the Blue Hens start their defense of their CAA crown with a thumping of Monmouth on top right now, 18-6, as they look to finish off the last 30 seconds. As they get one final clear of the day. Blue Hens offense with a season-high 18 goals today, as they have now won back-to-back contests after taking down UMBC 17-11. They get 6 points from J.P. Ward, 5 from Ty Kurtz. They welcome back Mike Robinson, who has 2 assists in his return to the starting lineup. And that will do it. Delaware 18, Monmouth 6, as the Blue Hens win their 5th game of this season. Well, the Blue Hens dominated, and they move on with the rest of their season. It was a great one today. We thank you for joining us here on Flow Sports. My name is Matt Popelka, saying so long. We hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon.
Still 30 seconds on the possession clock. In traffic, bounce shot goes! The CAA